The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good.
Hi, Tom.
How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico DeHaan and Paige Clark.
Good morning, I'm Nico DeHaan. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, wild world.
That's right, to recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms. And I'm Paige Clark. Good morning.
Good morning. It's a beautiful day in downtown Clearwater, 79 degrees and mostly sunny, and doesn't look like we're going to have any rain today, Paige.
Well, we got enough over the weekend,
Yeah,
kind
sure
of.
did,
It was nice, yeah. So please subscribe to our Health Signals newsletter. This is news you can use, comes to your inbox twice a month. Good stuff with all kinds of clickable links. You can stay connected and follow our conversation as we go down the rabbit hole, what it takes to live longer, stronger, healthier, and wealthier while you're sitting there trading or doing whatever you're doing.
That's for sure. And, of course, you can reach us, make suggestions for the show, and just ask some questions at nico@tfnn.com by email.
Right, and Paige at TFNN.com. And we're taking your calls if you're up bright and early, 877-927-6648.
Way to go, Paige. So I got a letter from, I got quite a few different contacts with a lot of people about the What the Health show, which
Yeah,
was
we
last
went over
Tuesday.
that documentary, the What the Health documentary.
And Abby Launder said here, last Tuesday's broadcast was outstanding.
Thanks,
So we
Abby.
think. She did say a quick reference from Paige alerted my ears to determine if you continue to recommend Vital Farms eggs. I don't know if we ever really, what we want is organic eggs. She said some of them are organic, some are not.
She said she observed that they are organic, but some are not organic. This implies that they are fed. So let's clarify that point. You could have an organic chicken's egg that is fed.
Organic corn.
It could be fed organic grains, corn and soy, but this is the point that I want to say to Abba and everything is that chickens are meant to scratch and peck.
Yes.
Because they're looking for bugs, because guess what? They're not vegetarian.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of those eggs say, fed an all-vegetarian diet. Well, that's not so cool.
Right.
And the other thing is that probably if we had our druthers, we would choose an egg that was not fed corn and soy, because why? Those two things are traditionally GMO in this country.
Right.
So if they are going to be fed, we would prefer it to be organic corn and soy. And as you made a comment during the break, if they are fed, that's not the worst thing, because they do probably eat seeds. But the key thing is
birds are traditionally the seed eaters.
they eat seeds, but
Right.
the other thing is they eat bugs. They're
Yes.
looking for little.
Yeah.
They're carnivores, guys. I mean, they're omnivores.
So I think the thing is, if you are forcing them to eat only one thing, that's probably not good, no matter what it is. And if you're feeding them non-organic things, that's probably bad. But the most healthiest, and if we can find these chickens that are just not fed, they're out there scratching and digging for
Yeah,
themselves.
like my farmer, she says they only eat what they can find.
Yeah.
So
that's a healthy chicken, and that'd be a
but
healthy egg.
if they are fed, at least I think, since they're going to feed them meals and so forth. But there's a lot of people that'll feed their chickens leftover produce and so forth from farmers markets
Yes,
and so
in fact,
forth. They let them peck at
remember
that.
that the kitchen generally was right next to the pen.
Right.
Where either the
And the food
pigs-
scraps would go out
pigs
there.
Or the food scraps would just go out the kitchen window, and that's where the animals would be. So that's the
and it's important what we feed our animals. And I don't know if we'll have a chance, but we'll see how the show goes. Stephen Klein, my partner in Healthy Fit Club, Stephen did an interview with Rodney Habib.
Okay.
He's huge in this network called Pet Power.
Okay.
He's got a show and page, and he gets millions of views on his YouTube, and it's really about educating us on our pets. That made me think
cool.
about it. Why shouldn't we feed our animals kind of what we would want to eat.
The thing is, the vegans and the vegetarians, which I have nothing against them, but they do want to make the world a vegan. They do want to have their animals vegan also, and this would create a lot of problems because animals
that's not the pecking order,
Yeah.
so to speak.
There's another article.
Thanks for your question, though, Abba.
This is from the New York Times, Live Another Day Thanks to Grandparents Who Couldn't Sleep. And
Isn't
I found
that
this fascinating.
Yeah.
Sleep is essential for survival, yet it represents a time of extreme vulnerability to predation. This is the problem. And what they're saying is that
maybe there was a reason.
Well, grandparents normally do wake up in the middle of the night, maybe once or twice. I do. Now that, not that I'm a grandparent, but I am a grandparent and great-grandparent.
Yeah, you're a great-granddaddy.
But this started about 10, 15 years ago. I noticed that I wake up and I was stressed about it. This article makes me much less stressed about it, trying to get back to sleep. I do wake up, I wander around a little bit, maybe go to the bathroom. Sometimes I'll just stretch a little bit, and sometimes I'll read a little bit. Then I go back to sleep. Mm-hmm. But what they're saying is that the people who are awake tend to be a centennial in the old days. In other words, they're out there aware of something that may be going on.
A sentient, like a soldier.
Like a soldier, a sentinel.
So, right, they're watching out for the troops.
And who better to do that with the person with the most experience, especially the males, who are out there hunting most of their lives, and they really know about the predators. Mm-hmm. And now you have somebody that wakes up in the middle of the night and is probably looking out for that. So this may be a genetic thing. So the thing I want to bring across is if you're not sleeping and you're older like I am, then maybe you shouldn't be stressing out about it. Maybe this might be a natural thing for you.
Well, remember a couple years ago we did a research article about that there's a rhythm to some people,
yes.
and that instead of stressing about it,
mm-hmm.
I think stress is the worst thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But that some people have said, actually, the mines and the electricity and everything is turned off. Sometimes you can do your clearest thinking
mm-hmm.
at those wee hours. However, in light of what I've been researching now, lots of Dr. Cruz's work with light and so forth,
mm-hmm.
I still would suggest if you do wake up that you not
turn
on any lights. Preferably, Dr. Marshall used to teach, don't lift your head off the pillow, just lay there and think. But you, like you say, you get up. Everyone's different, but certainly don't turn on any bright lights or look at computer screens,
right,
because that blue light frequency sends a message to the brain, it's daylight.
Yeah.
It's not time to sleep.
Maybe go outside and stand in the grass and reground yourself. And,
That's a really great
look
idea.
for predators and then go back in.
Yeah, look around.
I think this is a great article, and it is...
let's dive into it a little bit, Nico, because it says, as you said, you may not look forward to sleeping less as you get older, but maybe it wouldn't seem so bad if you knew it once played an important role in human survival, and this is supported by the study you were opening up on.
Yes.
And it suggests that the way sleep patterns change with age may be evolutionary adaptation that helped our ancestors survive the night by ensuring one person in a community was awake at all times. And they called this the phenomenon, the poor sleeping grandparents hypothesis. They actually had a name for it.
We propose that throughout human evolution, sleeping groups composed of mixed age classes provide a form of vigilance. Yes.
Families that sleep together stay together.
Yeah, and we've talked about that many times, that there are still families that have a sleeping room where everybody just goes and sleeps. And it works. It's probably something that's very healthy. Everybody's in one room, certainly safer. And if you have somebody that wakes up once in a while to alert you to any dangers, that's probably good too. So I like this study a lot.
Yeah.
But when we come back, Paige, I want to talk about some nuts. Not us, but the nuts we eat. So.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll be right back.
Stay tuned.
Pick up our Primal Edge, folks. It's time. This is a good time to get ready and get on your 310 organic cell-ready liquid ingredients powered by fulvic and humic acid. I can get it out, right? Okay, we'll be right back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back to Living a Primal Lifestyle. We're going to get down to the nitty-gritty on nuts now. And this is an article from the Paleo Mom, great source. Nuts in the paleo diet, moderation is key, she says. And really, they are typically considered nutritious, health-promoting foods, and since they were around before humans even existed, it's hard to argue that they're not truly paleo or primal food fare.
Yeah, I agree. There's emerging evidence that beneficial effects on oxidative stress, vascular reactivity, and hypertension. Numerous studies show that people who regularly eat nuts tend to have a more favorable blood lipid profile. And one meta-analysis of 25 clinical studies show that nut consumption has a dose-responsive cholesterol-lowering effect. So dose-responsive.
Again, not so interested in lowering cholesterol because cholesterol is not the cause of heart disease. But let's look at this. A mere 20 grams of tree nuts per day is associated with substantially reduced risk. Think 20 to 70% risk of getting cardiovascular disease, cancer, neurodegenerative kidney disease, diabetes, infections, and mortality from respiratory disease. So what is that? You know, when we look beyond that, what is that nutrient density that we're getting? Mm-hmm. Well, I argue that it's a lot of the fat-soluble nutrients, including
antioxidant vitamins, essential minerals, include a major dietary source of magnesium, dietary fiber, L-arginine.
L-arginine actually helps you to make nitric oxide, which makes your oxygenization better,
right. And they have
circulation better.
High levels of heart-healthy monounsaturated fats, and some of them have the omega-3 fatty acids.
Yeah, here's one of my favorites, because when I coach people, I'm always trying to help them work on food, lifestyle, and environment. Mm-hmm. Those are my big key things. So it's not uncommon to hear me suggest a Brazil nut a day or two, right, because a Brazil nut is a great live source of selenium, and selenium is a huge trace mineral that many of us are deficient in. Important reason that we, wanted to use the Primal Edge, because we need to get these sources of selenium, and that having adequate selenium reduces all kinds of cancer and heart disease risks. So I think that's important.
Yeah, one of the things it says here, health benefits of nut consumption do not continue to increase beyond about 20 grams per day. And that's really the predicament I found myself in many years ago when
Eating a little too many nuts?
Too many nuts, especially peanuts, which really are not nuts, but they're legumes or beans of some kind. But they do have properties in them that kind of override the good parts, they're making them hard to digest for us. And that's really the reason I wanted to bring this up, because I have a tendency to overdo the nuts. Even today, I'll start snacking on a few of them, and if they're salted,
it's real easy to grab another handful.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and most of the time that they may not be soaked, and they may not be fermented, they may not be sprouted, and these
And they
are
might be
things-
rancid.
And they
and
might
aged.
be rancid. And of course, if they're roasted, they might be rancid from the roasting. It might be some of the properties, if you over roast them, take those omegas out of them. Lots of things that can happen with nuts, and if they're not organic, that's bad to begin with. But let's talk about these a little
just
bit.
kind of get yourself, a picture of what's that right amount is. I mean, buy a cheap little food scale and put 20 grams of nuts so you can get a visual of
Handful.
that. Yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
much a handful.
Yeah, and it's real easy to overdo them. I like people to think of them as a condiment to their food.
Yes.
I think they taste very good on a salad. As a sprinkling on a salad to give that crunchy taste that many people might be looking for
especially
croutons.
Pistachios are great on salads. Almonds are wonderful, especially if you chop them up a little bit and get those little bits in there. So there's a lot of great things about nuts. I just don't want people to understand, the same reason that we don't eat grains. And we're talking about things that we overeat. So in other words, once we decided that grains were going to be a staple because they once saved our lives, we started really over-consuming these and having them all year round, every day of our lives.
Right.
When they are seasonal, seeds only come out a certain time of year when they're harvested. And the beautiful thing about them, of course, that we figured out one day that we can keep them for a long time, which in starvation times, or if you want to have a whole army of people moving across the country, this is very handy to have. And
I
this
think
is
it's
why.
a super idea. More and more, I'm really wanting people to take a look at what is truly seasonal in their area where they're living, and then maybe infuse that a little bit with their DNA haplotype. In other words, what were the genetics of your original ancestors?
That too, and Paige, another thing too is what's indigenous to your area. In other words, do we know where Brazilian nuts are from? Probably Brazil.
I like the way Jack Cruz says, if you eat a banana in Scotland in the winter,
It's probably not too.
you're going to have some problems.
Yeah.
We're not meant to eat that kind of a carbohydrate-dense food in a cold, dark environment.
And traditionally, if we look back on the record, we probably would consume these types of things seasonally, but probably a lot during that season. And not so much any time else, because they don't keep. A banana goes bad very quickly,
Right.
even if it's encased.
Yeah, so let's go a little farther about this nuts thing because, the truth is tree nuts are one of the most allergenic foods. So when we're having someone who's having digestive distress or symptoms, and we recommend that they do an elimination diet or a rotation diet or kind of, let's take a look and see what might be causing some of their inflammation or irritation. With true allergies, meaning the body is producing IgE antibodies against proteins in nuts, estimates that at about 1% of the total population, and some preliminary scientific studies show that nut intolerance, meaning the body produces IgG antibodies against the protein in nuts, may affect a whopping 20 to 50% of us. There are two ways to diagnose allergies and intolerance to nuts. You guys ready? First is to do the food allergy and sensitivity test, a blood test that looks for IgE and IgG antibodies, and sometimes IgA and IgM antibodies against various foods. And the second way is to perform an elimination diet. I call that the what's to diagnose approach. Okay. What's to diagnose? Well, just instead of diagnosing, you just give it a try, eliminate it, and then reintroduce it.
Right.
And if you aren't sure, they may be worth avoiding, at least temporarily, especially for people with digestive or autoimmune disorders.
Yeah.
And that allergy to nuts comes back to what you've always been saying. Nuts and seeds, they have a built-in survival mechanism against being eaten.
Yeah, most of the animals that eat nuts, and this would be the soft ones, so they crack them open fine, but if they eat the seeds of plants, they normally eat them whole and they poop them out the back end. And then
But that's nature at her best. She's not going to waste a seed. You know,
So
if you're going to take the time to eat it, it's going to make sure it gets to recycle it on the other end.
So the problem with it is really the mineral absorption phytates. Phytate is the salt of the phytic acid.
Right. The phytates are enzyme inhibitors. It's designed to make it so that it goes through your digestive system and the body is not able to break it down because, again, like I said, the nature wants that seed to be used out the other end.
Yeah,
so it's going to keep it from being broken down.
A kind of a storage molecule for phosphorus. It serves as an energy store. It actually holds this seed in stasis. So it desperately wants to survive. They know that seeds, probably 1 in 1,000, survive. But the reason this acid is in there is so at least 1 or 2 or 3 will survive out of the thousands that they have. Very important thing. Not good for our digestive system. Not too bad if we just eat a few, because then it's kind of a reactionary to our system saying, hey, let's boost it up a little bit because this is in here. But now if you have it every day, then it becomes a problem. So let's continue with this.
Yes, we'll be right back to go over the nuts and bolts of nuts.
Nuts and bolts.
Stay with us.
We'd like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And welcome back. This so we're talking about nuts and seeds, and we closed last time with the phytic acid that's in there, and the phytates. These are also in leaves of plants at a real low rate, so it tells you that this is an important thing.
Defense mechanism of the plant.
Yeah, it's the defense mechanism of the plant, but also in small, moderate amounts, this gives us a little stimulus to our body saying, let's produce a little bit more of this and that to overcome the phytates. But now, if you do overconsume these things, that's when it becomes a problem. Very, very difficult to digest.
So the next important thing, in addition to the phytates, is the polyunsaturated fat content.
Exactly, because we know that if we want our omega-3s and omega-6, we want them in a certain ratio.
We'd like them to be as balanced as we can.
Yeah, 1-to-1 is a prime.
Or at least 1-to-4, is better.
Is better.
But unfortunately, in the United States, we're getting an overload of the omega-6, 20-to-1. And although
in the form of those oils,
bad oils, from eating in restaurants and stuff.
Oils,
of course, you're not buying bad oils now.
I hope not.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but on those occasions that you accidentally eat in a restaurant,
yeah. So there's a huge amount of omega-6. More than a ratio of 3-to-1, a lot of times 15-to-1, up to 30-to-1 in some cases.
And that's why you want the small portion, guys.
Yeah, and of course there's a couple that don't have that amount, and coconuts have to be one of them, macadamia
and my
nuts.
favorites, macadamia nuts.
Yeah,
very high in monosaturated and saturated fats.
Yes, and also some almonds have that, different kinds of almonds around the world have
low phytates in the coconut and the macadamia, so that's why.
And they have lots of medium chain to them.
MCTs, correct, yeah.
So those are important.
Those are our favorites.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of reasons why you should really look at this, and one of the things that we want to talk about next is talk about the reinduction.
Right. Well, what happens, as we mentioned earlier, is that when you do have some allergies or just not feeling right, anything going on in your body, whether it be body aches, we always talk about eliminating and then reintroducing foods. So there's a great little reintroduction guide that we kind of want to overview for you, and the Paleo Mom provides this as a download. It's a quick, free, easy download. You might want to go to thepaleomom.com, and a lot of people have been criticizing the autoimmune protocol, the AIP. It's kind of famous in the blog sphere for being unnecessarily restrictive for lifelong maintenance. So similar to news articles criticizing the paleo diet for being an all-meat diet, which I do not propose, by the way. Yeah. These criticisms themselves grossly misrepresent the autoimmune protocol. We have to start somewhere to clear the palate so we can then see how our bodies react. Right. The author says the autoimmune protocol is a powerful therapeutic diet, and we know that. A lot of people get great results, and it's kind of based on paleo principles, and it's designed to regulate the immune system and provide the body with an opportunity to heal. Yeah.
So if you're saying, I'm not going to eat this for 3 or 4 weeks, you're going to stay strict to that. Now you want to introduce it, and so what's the method for reintroduction? So
let's kind of outline a few things that at a bare minimum you should be strictly compliant with a paleo approach diet. That's what the autoimmune protocol uses if you're having symptoms of autoimmunity. For at least 1 month, 3 to 4 months would be even better, to really kind of clear the system, right?
And this would kind of imitate a seasonal change if you were eating according to season. 3 months is a season.
I really think, too, using that as a template. As you start to design your menu, what's seasonal and what's anti-inflammatory, and then make your food list out of that.
Yeah, there's
That's
a lot
a
of
great
guides
way.
on Google. You can find out what vegetables, what nuts are, and when they come about. And I think that's a handy guide. Put it on your refrigerator, and then when you go shopping, you can refer to that to add to your list.
And why is this great? Because you're going to definitely see significant improvements in your symptoms first when you do an elimination diet, with the evidence that your gut has healed substantially and that your immune system is no longer attacking your body. Which will be apparent in how you feel.
Reintroducing a food after eliminating it from your diet is called the Oral Food Challenge Test.
The Oral Food Challenge Test.
Yes.
Very
the
cool.
suggested procedure for a food challenge is detailed here. One of the first things you do is you introduce one food at a time, once every 3 to 7 days. If you generally tolerate new foods as well as you challenge them, you can reintroduce them faster every 3 to 4 days. If you are sensitive to many foods, you should introduce them more slowly every 6 to 7 days or even longer. Can be tricky, they said.
That's right. But, you've become more aware of your body as you've eliminated a lot of the offending foods. And so much, folks, I think we don't realize that many of the symptoms we have are not related to our food. I think this is a great graphic. I'm sure, oh, great, Al's got it zoomed in. What does a food reaction look like? And these reactions can vary widely, and they can include all of these different things. Gastrointestinal symptoms.
Symptoms of
heartburn.
Mucus, lots of mucus production, phlegm, runny nose, postnasal drip.
Mood swings, guys. Mood swings, feeling depressed, being low, energy low, so forth. Achy joints and pain, tendons and ligaments, etc. Food cravings are even part of this.
Yeah, and changes in the skin, rashes, acne, dry skin, little pink bumps, spots, things like that. I've experienced some of those. Dandruff is another one, I think, that apply directly to grains and seeds.
Snitching, yes, snitching.
What's that?
That was a mix between sneezing and itching. Snitching.
Snitching, yes.
Sneezing, itching eyes or mouth, or coughing, and or increased need to clear your throat. And even headaches, trouble falling asleep, and or perhaps having a little tachycardia or fast heartbeat when you're going to sleep is a sign that your body is reacting. So, guys, how many of these things happen to people, and are we really realizing that it's related to our food? I don't know, but I think it's crucial that we.
So let's go over these procedures. There's the 8 things here. First, select a food to challenge. Be prepared to eat it 2 or 3 times in one day, but not again for a few days. Okay,
so you're basically going to kind of flood your system with that food. So say it might be,
nuts.
Well, it could be, exactly, a certain nut. The first time you eat the food, eat half a teaspoon or even less, one teensy little nibble. Wait 15 minutes. If you have any symptoms, don't eat anymore. So this is about you becoming very conscious about your symptoms.
Sensitive.
Yes. If you don't have any symptoms, if you have symptoms, don't eat anymore. Right. Next, eat 1 teaspoon of the food, a tiny bite. Wait 15 minutes. I want to make this point. This has happened to me quite a few times, like where I'll sneeze after I've eaten something, and I'm becoming very aware, what did I just eat? If you have a sneeze or all of a sudden your nose gets stuffed up, guys,
related to something
that's called biofeedback. That's free biofeedback.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay?
Yeah. Wait 2 or 3 hours and monitor yourself for symptoms. Now you eat a normal-sized portion meal, either by itself or as part of a meal. Okay, so number 7 is don't eat that food again for 3 to 7 days, and don't introduce any other food that is in that time. In other words, keep it really
You're monitoring
basic.
your symptoms because delayed food allergy response is a big deal. I mean, and they often show up, and people are not remembering. That's why keeping a food diary when you're working with a professional of what the foods you're eating, and you can say, look, here I am on Saturday. What did I eat last Saturday, or what did I eat on Tuesday? And that might be the root cause of some of your symptoms. So
I'll get this in the next newsletter so you can, all the graphics will be there and everything.
That's right. So. And we'll be right back after this short break. Okay. Stay with us.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White has just announced a new online course that he'll be premiering to his subscribers the evening of July 26th, The Next Wild Wild West of Computing. Machine learning will be the biggest growth area for tech companies in the next 10 years. Make sure you're ready to capitalize on that opportunity. With over 50 types of algorithms and growing, Dave White will tell you why there are so many areas for companies to apply this to their business to both sell and consume. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to either of Dave's newsletters, Path of Least Resistance and The Technology Insider, as well as get a 30-day money-back guarantee when ordering Timing the Trade charts. Don't miss out on the next Wild Wild West of computing as it premieres July 26th for all subscribers to Dave White Services. For all the details and to sign up today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And we're just kind of finishing up with, some tips on using an elimination diet to figure out what foods might be contributing to irritations and allergic reactions, and we gave you a tip sheet for reintroducing foods. So make sure you get the newsletter because there are some real pearls in there. Suggested order of reintroduction. You'd be amazed at some of the foods that tend to persist and might surprise you that they could be the root cause of you not feeling just super.
Yeah, and especially
so
if you consume it every day, like coffee and things like that we don't think of.
They're on the list of problems.
They're a fruit, just like the rest of these things.
The coffee bean, right?
Yeah, coffee
exactly.
Beans. Okay, so
how do we make these things tolerable?
We can make them, and our ancestors did this, and it's really easy to do. It does take some preparation. It's not like going to the store, buying the nuts, and eating them. Okay.
Right.
The phytates and the enzyme inhibitors that make nuts and seeds so tricky to digest can easily be neutralized by soaking in salt water and a low-temperature dehydration.
That's
Combination of minerals and heat works to break down the irritating compounds while preserving the beneficial fats and proteins. So you have to do this at a really low heat. Suggested that you use a dehumidifier would be a
food dehydrator.
Excuse me.
And dehydrators are really great. It's a big, bulky thing. If you have a utility room, you can put it in there, but it has multiple shelves, and you can prepare healthy snack foods, properly prepare your nuts. It's just almost should be a kitchen staple.
Really is, because there's lots of other things you can dehydrate besides the nuts and the seeds, but this is primary to that, I think. What you do, basically...
Well, let's just remind them again, what's wrong with eating raw nuts and seeds? So you go to the Whole Foods and you think you're being super healthy and you're buying all these nuts and seeds. Well, first of all, many of them have been irradiated or pasteurized, so that's probably really inhibited their nutritional content to begin with.
Yep.
So sourcing your nuts is important.
Yeah, a lot of them are roasted too.
Right, and roasted kind of interferes with the nutritional things. So we've already covered what's wrong with raw nuts and seeds is that they come packaged with the creator's package to make sure life continues, which are the phytic acids, and we gave you some tips about that. So why does soaking help? And I think this is important because I guarantee if you stand to a room of people and there's 10 people and you say, do you soak your nuts and seeds? They're going to say, what?
They're going to say only the men.
And no, the truth is soaking your nuts is an important part of preparing this as a healthy food. Ancient cultures knew it. And they did these things, but somehow or another in our hurried, busy life, we've forgotten these proper food preparations. And the phytates and enzyme inhibitors that make nuts and seeds so tricky to digest can be easily neutralized by soaking this in the salt water, low temperature dehydrating. And you know, this is a very costly loss to our nutritional content.
Yes,
Again, going to the grocery store, delivering a food that is not meant to eat in the form that they're delivering it.
Yeah, remember those omega-3 fats that are in there are highly sensitive and heat destroys them. So when you roast them, and most of the time they're over-roasted, then you're going to have problems with digesting those.
Yeah.
So here's how you do it. This is simply soaking them. Measure out 4 cups of raw, unsalted organic nuts, seeds into a medium-sized bowl.
Yeah, cover it with filtered water so that the nuts are submerged.
Add 1 or 2 tablespoons of
a good, healthy,
salt.
unrefined sea salt.
Yeah. Allow to stand covered over the counter for about 7 hours or overnight.
That's right. Do it before you go to bed, so that when you wake up, you know, you can rinse the nuts to remove the salt residue and spread them out into a single layer on a rack to dehydrate.
Yeah. Now, some people do it 2 nights, which
Right.
I recommend, especially with beans. My mother used to rinse them all the time because all the bubbling, then she would put new water in it, do it again, and 2 nights before the peas or the beans or anything was
Because
done.
if you're not soaking these foods, our grandmothers did, we just don't see it because it's become so, again, in this world
Too
of
inconvenient.
corporate profits, they don't want to take the time to do it. They don't care. They throw them out to you, and then they advertise something like Beano or Gas X, but you missed getting all the
Another drug,
nutrition. Yeah, right,
Of course,
exactly.
naturally.
Yeah. So,
So-
what you do then is you rinse the nuts to remove the salt residue, and then you spread them out in a single layer to dehydrate. And you can dry at a low temperature. So if you don't have a dehydrator, generally you put it on the warm setting of your oven. You know,
Yeah,
it's
it's-
kind of hard because the oven wants to creep up.
Yeah, I don't know. Many ovens don't even have anything below 200 or 250.
Yeah. So and if you do that, you're going to kill the enzyme. But
Yeah,
there
so
are some of the
150
newer
they
ones.
say is the highest. They prefer 110. You know, food dehydrators.
All
better.
enzymes are kind of nulled after 110.
Yeah.
That's why heated milk. That's why pasteurized milk is different than raw milk.
Yes.
Because it's been heated.
It kills all those enzymes.
And it kills some of the bugs, but it kills the enzymes
Yeah,
too.
and there's a question here: do
Not
all
easy to
types of
get them.
nuts and seeds need to be soaked? This question is controversial as people have different opinions, traditions, and information to support their claims, whether to soak them or not. I don't know either whether they are flax seeds and things like that.
Well, they
don't always
actually
have to be
produce a
soaked.
gelatinous goo in the water, and Brazil nuts don't always soak well due to their high fat content. So peanuts can be soaked. However,
They're not really nuts anyway.
they also say cashews don't need to be soaked because they're actually, like you said, a legume.
Legume.
Yeah, legume. But
Yep.
but
And remember, these are indigenous to South American countries. Most of the nuts that we have here in the United States either come from South America. Some of them do come from the United States, so they're really not
probably the
native.
walnuts and the pecans are
Yeah.
more of a Native American.
Definitely.
You know, from the trees. Just look at what kind of trees we have in your area,
Yeah.
and look for what kind of tree nuts are in the area. Those might be the best nuts.
Now, if you want to go a little bit farther than this, to take out every possible thing, you think about sprouting them. So the practice of sprouting takes an extra step than soaking by completing several cycles of soaking, rinsing, and draining, and air exposure over to 1
to 4 day period.
Yeah. Certain nuts will enter a stage of germination in which the physical sprouts actually appear.
And that's powerful, guys. Think
Yeah.
of that. That is,
So
you know,
it
photosynthesis.
changes from a seed to a plant.
To a
and
sprout.
we know the plants have less phytic acid, much easier for us to digest, so this makes a lot of sense. And when you taste the seeds that you've soaked and everything done afterwards, and then prepare them maybe with a little salt or something like that, they're gonna
What's so
taste
cool
much
about
better.
sprouting is not only does it eliminate all of these phytic acid inhibitors, but it actually increases the nutritional profile up to 6 times.
Yes, it does.
That's powerful.
So it makes all those omega-3s and those things that are in there that we really want much more viable to digest, and therefore your body gets the benefit of those instead of just discarding them.
And you can't sprout all nuts, but you can with most seeds and legumes and grains, raw and non-irradiated. Remember I said that word? Pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, and sunflower seeds are all good candidates for the sprouting process. And if you're up for the slightly more involved procedure of sprouting, really get to our favorite cookbook of all times, Nourishing Traditions, The Wise Traditions Diet, produced by Sally Fallon of the Weston A. Price Foundation.
Yeah.
It's like a godsend. You should give everybody Nourishing Traditions as a gift this Christmas. If you have any family members, friends, it's a very great read. There's a story and a lot of history
And get the
in it.
hardcover. Those are kind of nice gifts, I think, at Christmas time or birthdays to get actually, instead of having just a digital version, getting a hardcover of it.
Well, I think it's soft cover, but you mean an
soft
actual
cover.
physical
It is.
copy.
Yeah, that's
gotcha.
what I mean.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a beautiful book. And you can, understand where a lot of family traditions came from,
Yeah. So, this really is important to understand that these things are healthy for us if we do certain things to them. So when we come back, we're going to conclude this section on this and just kind of wrap it up for you. So, Paige and I'll be right back. The number here still is 877-927-6648. And watch us on the Healthy Fit Club, too. They're great sources of information there, all kinds of things that you can buy that are strictly paleo, and lots of great information there. So we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors. Up next, 9 before 9 with John Logan on TFNN.
And Nico and I are going nuts on nuts today. We're gonna, we've kind of given you some tips on how to begin preparing your nuts and seeds so that they can be the health food. Here are some following questions that will help you decide if soaking nuts is worth a try to help yourself. And here's some questions for you. Do you ever experience low belly pain after eating nuts, seeds, or foods that contain them?
Do you ever notice pieces of nuts in your stool the day after eating them?
And do you eat a significant amount of phytate-containing foods, such as grains, beans, nuts, and seeds? Wow, think if you're eating a lot of phytate-containing foods, that means that you are binding up a lot of your minerals. You're mineral deficient. Get some Primal Edge or do something there.
And the last question is, do you struggle to consume enough minerals and vitamin Bs in your diet? If you answered yes to any of these, you're likely going to be beneficial to soak and dry your nuts prior to eating them.
Yeah.
So are roasting nuts okay?
Well, yeah, here's a question. Is it okay to roast your nuts? And roasted nuts are not the same as gently soaked and air-dried nuts. And although they have a warm, smoky flavor that may seem appealing, they're flash-fried and cheap oils. Ugh, yeah, we don't have to go there, right?
Yep.
And these are rancid oils usually.
And high temperatures.
And so they're not. They really take a good food and make it worse. So we want to avoid roasted nuts. You know, after you sprout your nuts, if you want to sprinkle some herbs that give you that spicy, smoky flavor.
Sure.
If you don't have problems from the food elimination from peppers, maybe a little smoky paprika. But believe it or not, paprika is a pepper that is often linked to food allergies. So you have to kind of work on that.
Okay, the next question is, are organic nuts always better? Well, I think so. I think anytime that you can go organic and not have
because you're going to minimize
pesticides,
pesticide risk.
and also fertilizers that may be cheap in there.
And it supports sustainable agriculture.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
Yet, unfortunately, less than 1% of U.S. tree nut farmland is certified organic, so hunting down organic nuts can be both difficult and expensive. You know, many of these non-organic nuts are treated with dangerous fumigants, gases to kill bugs after they are picked, and it is easy to see why some are weary of them, very much like grain silos.
Yeah, but remember that the fumigants that they use are like Vicane gas, is normally used with grains and nuts and things like that. Has no odor, has no residual whatsoever, proven over and over again. Sometimes the agents that they have with them to make it smell so you can know that it's in there, those may be the problem. But the Vicane gas and methylbromide even has no residual on it, so used properly, I don't see that as a problem coming from,
So what if you don't have a dehydrator? It's important to dry out the nuts and seeds at a low temperature in order to preserve the greatest amount of natural enzymes. So 150 degrees Fahrenheit is the maximum heat you would want to apply, although temperatures around 110 are truly the best. So, you know, they can be expensive, so don't fear. If you don't have a coveted stainless steel dehydrator decorating your counter, actually it's a big moose, you know.
Yeah, it's a huge
it is certainly
item.
possible to use the oven for drying. I mentioned that earlier. Keep in mind that most ovens come preset with a low temperature of 175 to 200, so you have to search for the oven manual and figure out how to down-regulate it. A standalone oven thermometer may be helpful for monitoring. In the winter, you could just leave your oven open a little bit too. Let the heat, you know, cool off, and but you can get a thermometer and see. But after you go through all that, it might just be better to put that on your Amazon wish list.
Yeah, and the last question here is, can I buy pre-soaked or sprouted nuts anywhere?
Yes,
well,
you can.
Certainly not anywhere, but you can certainly buy them in a lot of places.
Yeah, well, you're going to see more and more Better Than roasted nut seeds and nut betters. There's a couple of different brands called Better Than, and you can always, you can contact me if you'd like to get a copy of the Weston A. Price Food Shopping Guide. I've got the new 2017 ones. Well, I guess it's not new anymore, but it comes out yearly. You can go to the Weston A. Price. In fact, go to the Weston A. Price chapter and become a member and support this organization that's helping us link to foods that our ancestors ate, the traditional Wise Traditions diet. I think that's a great move for all of you, and this is a not-profit. It needs our help.
Yeah, and everything that we talked about today is going to be in the next newsletter on Tuesday, so look forward to that. All the links will be in there and all the different things that we talked about. So thanks for sticking around, folks.
See you next
time.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.